again, LTV viewers and friends. You're watching the January 30th, 2026 edition of East End News on LTV. I'm Christine Sampson. This is your community and your news, local as always. Here's what we've got for you this week. The Bonnick Boys varsity basketball team is having a season filled with ups and downs, but last Friday night there was one heck of an up. Max Mensch has the story.
Friday, January 23rd, marked a milestone night for East Hampton High School basketball. Senior guard Toby Foster surpassed the 1,000-point mark for his career, becoming just the 13th player in program history to reach the achievement. Foster hit the milestone by knocking down a three-pointer late in the first quarter.
I mean, it was special, especially because it was on a three-pointer, because that's what I work on, all the time. At the end of the day, I know that's what I work for, and that's what I do, score the ball. So it was a big accomplishment. I'm so excited.
The moment was the product of countless hours in the gym, and Foster credits repetition for his development as a scorer. Head coach Dave Conlon noted that even in the offseason, Foster is giving it all he's got.
Toby is definitely the hardest worker. He's the one who puts the most time in to become a good basketball player. He's always the first one in the gym, last one to leave. He's always asking can I stay after and get extra shots up.
Despite Foster's milestone, the Bonnickers fell to West Islip 60-44. Coach Conlon noted that pressure and fatigue may have played a role down the stretch.
Sometimes the best thing is to kind of let the game just come to you and be a little bit more patient.
Foster's name is now etched into East Hampton basketball history as the 13th player ever to reach 1,000 points and the first Bonnicker to do so since 2023. This is Max Mensch reporting in East Hampton for LTV.
Ever wonder who's on the other side of the line when you dial 911 in East Hampton Town? Well, as of 12:30 p.m. on January 26th, the dispatcher answering the call is officially responding from East Hampton Town's 911 call center at police headquarters in Wainscott. For about 4 decades prior, that responsibility was handled by East Hampton Village. The changeover has caused some friction between town officials and their counterparts in the village. The changeover had been delayed by about 2 weeks. However, Supervisor Kathy Berkenzales said in a statement that the transition has been smooth. She said, quote, "When someone calls 911, they are counting on us in a moment that feels overwhelming. Residents will notice no difference when they call 911. A trained dispatcher will be answering and help will be sent right away." Additionally, starting on Sunday, February 1st, East Hampton Town will also answer fire and EMS calls for the village of Sag Harbor and the Springs Fire District. East Hampton Village Mayor Jerry Larson summed up the switch as a long and flawed process. He projects that the town will wind up spending money instead of saving it. Larson told East End News that the change will impact the bottom line and staffing in the village, saying, quote, "We're at kind of a crossroads." Larson also expects Suffolk County will have software soon capable of separating 911 calls from cell phones and landlines so that East Hampton Village can handle all 911 calls generated inside its borders. Eventually, it will be divided up once the technology catches up, Larson said. Have you ever wondered about the inner workings of local law enforcement agencies? Find the answer at the East Hampton Town Police Department Citizen Police Academy. This free 10-week program is accepting applications from town residents ages 17 and up who have a valid driver's license and want to gain insight into police operations. The curriculum dives into crime scene investigations, laws of arrest, use of force, domestic violence, hate crimes, DWI investigations, and traffic stops. There will also be tours of police department facilities, virtual firearms training, and a ride-along. In a statement, East Hampton says, quote, "The goal of the Citizen Police Academy is to foster transparency, trust, and understanding by providing residents with an insider's view of law enforcement operations and decision-making." Academy applications are due to the town by February 25th. The Southampton Town police officer who was injured while making an arrest last week has been released from Peconic Bay Medical Center. His injuries stemmed from a disturbance inside a Hampton Bays house in which a male resident was knocking things down and also attacked a woman inside. According to police, the officer was attempting to arrest a 51-year-old man, but the man struck him in the face and then grabbed a holstered gun belonging to a different officer. The incident yielded 2 arrests. The 51-year-old man was charged with 3 felonies, assaulting an officer, criminal obstruction of breathing, and attempted robbery, plus a misdemeanor count of resisting arrest. He is being held in lieu of bail at the Suffolk County Jail in Yaphank. Police also detained a 67-year-old woman who reportedly would not comply with their orders to stay back. She was charged with 2 misdemeanors and has been released on her own recognizance. Affordable childcare. This issue has been in the news in New York State lately, with Governor Kathy Hochul announcing investments and advancements toward universal pre-K. That context leads us to our next story. One nonprofit organization in our town is working to renovate an aging facility into a modern center for childcare and youth activities. Let's take a look.
In its earliest days, Project Most started out with after-school programs at John M. Marshall Elementary School and the Springs School. Now, some 20 years later, the nonprofit organization is poised to take a major step towards a permanent home, with a renovation proposed at the neighborhood house on 3 Mile Harbor Road in East Hampton. Originally, the idea was to replace the existing structure with a house donated by an anonymous supporter, but with mixed reactions from the community members and new information about the archaeology of the site, the organization found itself heading in a new direction.
We changed our focus from the original design to focus on doing a reconstruction of this original building. Through the process of the archaeological study and learning the historic importance of this property and this building, Project Most decided that we really truly wanted to preserve what it stood for and this building. Many people in the community have such a strong history and remembering wonderful moments in this building.
Project Most serves about 500 children throughout the year in different places and spaces, currently including classrooms at the Most Holy Trinity School facility. At the neighborhood house, Project Most is also planning infant and toddler care, educational classes on weekends, and a summer camp for up to 75 children.
When we renovate this structure, this gym space that we're in right now will be existing, just fresher and more modern and more up to date. We will have a health department approved kitchen, which will be larger than the existing kitchen, to teach cooking to the children. And we will have a greenhouse and a garden on the property to teach the children the whole food to table movement.
The proposed renovation is making its way through East Hampton Town's planning and architectural review process. A significant fundraising effort also lies ahead.
It's for the community. Hopefully everyone will chip in and we'll make this place really great for the community.
This is Christine Sampson reporting in East Hampton for LTV East End News.
On this, we can all agree. There are few things in nature that are cuter than a baby chicken. And middle schoolers at the Springs School are about to learn what it takes to hatch and care for them. Thanks to a $454 grant from the East Hampton Education Foundation, students in Sandra Vecchio's 7th grade science class will have the right tools and equipment to incubate and hatch fertilized chicken eggs. The program was started 30 years ago by Cornell Cooperative Extension of Suffolk County. Teachers and students from all over Long Island and New York City receive a number of fertile eggs, which they then monitor closely during incubation. The chicks are returned to Cornell Cooperative soon after they hatch. Vanessa Lokel, executive director of Cornell's Suffolk Cooperative Organization, told East End News that the program, quote, is designed as a comprehensive hands-on STEM learning experience. Students directly observe embryonic development, learn about life cycles, genetics, anatomy, environmental conditions, and data collection, and engage in age-appropriate scientific inquiry over a clearly defined 21-day period. It sparks curiosity, empathy, and lasting interest in biology and agriculture. The Regal United Artists Movie Theater in Hampton Bays screened its final film last night, Thursday, January 29th. As first reported on 27east.com, the Regal UA Cinemas website listed no screenings past Thursday night, and the movie theater manager confirmed the impending closure earlier in the week. According to 27 East, the closure came after talks between the property's landlord, WDP Enterprises, and the theater's parent company, Cineworld. East End News independently reached out to Regal UA, but has not received a reply. The East Hampton location of the Regal UA cinema chain remains open. East End moviegoers can also still catch films at theaters in Southampton Village, Sag Harbor Village, and Mattituck. Today we're introducing a new series of special edition interviews with correspondent Dara Berger. Her first guest has a long history of public service, first as a school teacher, then as a school board member, a town councilman, and now a state assemblyman. Dara Berger welcomes Tommy John Scavone as she gets to know the politician and the person.
This is a special edition interview of LTV's East End News with correspondent Dara Berger. We cover the important things happening in your neighborhood. What prompted us to give you a call and ask you to come down here to the studio was we heard you got a 100% scorecard by the New York League of Conservation voters for your environmental conservation efforts. Can you tell us a little bit about how it felt to be recognized and what types of initiatives that you've been involved with?
Sure. I'm proud of the designation from the New York League of Conservation voters. Not a lot of us did get that designation, and it mainly deals with a series of environmental initiatives in the New York State Assembly and whether or not you support those laws. And I do. One of the more salient pieces of legislation that we're pushing for is packaging reduction. It's no secret that when we get packages in the mail or we purchase them, there's a lot of material around them, and that material gets into our waste stream, and not only that, it gets into our environment, and it's also expensive for municipalities to dispose of these products. So we want to reduce the packaging. I think it's good law, and it's something that we did not get passed last year, but we are still working on that. Also, reductions of PFOs and PFOAs in beauty care products and other products, shampoos and things like that. We really don't need them in there, but yet they're there. And these are some of the initiatives on the legislative, on the state level that I'm supporting. As far as environmental, here on the eastern end of Long Island, being a coastal community, the environment is near and dear to my heart and to the hearts of people in our area. So that is one of the most important issues in New York State, and the reason why I represent this area.
And a lot of people think that it's about just preserving land, these environmental conservation initiatives. And what I saw listed out was it's about safeguarding drinking water, protecting consumers from harmful chemicals, like you said, leaching into the water. And then you talked also about holding corporate polluters accountable. Is that an issue out here, or?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is.
Look, there are PFOAs in virtually all of our water. It's just a question of how much. And the municipal water, and people can get their private wells tested too. And there are microplastics that have gotten into our environment, and they are now in virtually everything. Microplastics are found in animals in Antarctica. They're in you, they're in I, and we do not know how they affect us biologically. There's just no science around it. As far as corporate polluters, we are giving subsidies to gas and oil companies, but yet they pump tons of carbon into our atmosphere every year. And we want to reverse that, and we want to be a leader nationally and internationally to do that. So, yes, corporate polluters, similar to the Superfund concept, a corporation that has made money by producing something, well, they should be part of the remedy to clean up what they've done to the environment.
And PFOs, most people would know them as forever chemicals. That's how they hear about them, because we don't get rid of them, unfortunately, once we're exposed to them. And I got my own well tested. I was so happy to be at zero. There were none. I was thrilled.
Congratulations.
Yes, I know, because it is a really big problem, and they're doing cleanups in different areas out here. Are there any other conservation efforts that you would like to do going forward, or that you're concentrating on?
The Peconic Bays. Yeah, I would like to see the Peconic Bays become more healthy. I think it's in pretty good shape currently, but there is a group called the Peconic Estuary Partnership that does a fantastic job at organizing the municipalities around the Peconic Bays. There are a number of incorporated villages. There are 5 towns in their entirety that touch the Peconic Bays, and it is one of the most productive ecosystems in the world, and it needs to be stewarded and maintained and studied so we can possibly bring back some of the habitat, the eelgrass habitat, which is one of their initiatives. And all of these things take resources. And so one of the things that I do is to try to get those resources back to groups like the Peconic Estuary Partnership and the Cornell Cooperative Extension, and to support the work that they do for our bays.
You can find Dara's full 30-minute interview with the Assemblyman on the LTV YouTube channel. Well, folks, we've gotten through a whopper of a winter storm, and more snow and ice could be on the way for our region over the next couple of days. Our youngest correspondent, Ollie, went out and about to take people's temperature, pun totally intended, on how well prepared our community was and is for more snow. Let's take a look.
Hello, I'm Ollie, and this is Ollie Asks. Today we're here in Sag Harbor, where we're asking people, do you think the East End was prepared for last week's snowstorm? And are they ready for another? Let's see what they have to say. Hello, I'm here with
Herb Samble.
So, do you think the East End was prepared for the recent snowstorm?
I do think so, reasonably well. I know in Sag Harbor they had the roads plowed early the next morning. I guess that was Monday morning, and I think they did a great job, yeah.
And do you think we're prepared for another?
I would like to think so, although, you know, it's going to be very hard with getting another layer of snow on top of what we already have, especially in terms of access to the streets and sidewalks. But I think the mayor and the village chair has got it under control, and I think he's doing a good job. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, I'm here with
Catherine Dickinson.
So, do you think the East End was prepared for the recent snowstorm?
Well, I can talk about Sag Harbor, and yes, most definitely they were prepared. And it was great.
And do you think they were prepared for another?
Of course. If you prepared for one, why not the other?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, I'm here with
Aldana.
So, do you think the East End was prepared for the recent snowstorm?
I think it was. They put the salt and everything before the snowstorm started. So I think after the snowstorm, everything was clean and looked good. A few private roads were not well cleaned, but everything else, the highways and everything was good.
And do you think we're ready for another?
I think with the outcome of the last one, we should be ready. I hope so, yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome, thank you.
Hello, I'm here with
Hi, Lisa.
So, do you think the East End was prepared for the recent snowstorm?
I do this time, yes, absolutely. I think our weather experts were really preparing us, giving a lot of heads up on this. Obviously, every year is a little different, and you kind of wonder as it's approaching the storm, is it going to be as bad as they think or as they're predicting? And I think this year it was, and I think the East End got it right this year, in my opinion.
And do you think we're prepared for another?
I hear we're having another potentially on Sunday. If we could execute what we just did this past storm, then I think we're prepared. I think everyone just needs to mentally prepare and just hunker down more. But yeah, I think we're in a good position. I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm here with
Mauricio.
So, do you think the East End was prepared for the recent snowstorm?
Well, it's supposed to be ready, but I don't think the budget was enough to have everything so clean. Right now, everything is, kind of clean, but there's not enough budget, so therefore they couldn't do it. That's what I think.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
This has been Ollie Asks. I've concluded that people do think the East End was prepared for the recent snowstorm. Let's just see if they're prepared for the next. I'm Ollie. See you next time.
We go now to our community calendar presented by SoundSense with one caveat. Check for weather-related closings ahead of time.
Tonight, January 30th, is Jazz Night at the Masonic Lodge in Sag Harbor. The theme is Unity Through Sound, promising a high-energy, engaging show. A reception featuring party perfectionists is at 6:30, followed by jazz at 7. MasonicMusicSeries.com has all the details. Pitch Your Peers is a philanthropic women's group that supports local causes. It will host a stand-up comedy night at the Stephen Talk House on Saturday, January 31st, starting at 8 p.m. Laura Patton leads the Stand Up for Hunger lineup to benefit food pantries in our town. Find more information at pyphamptons.org. Last week's Hampton's Pride film series at Bay Street Theater was postponed to Sunday, February 1st due to weather. Same time, same place, 4 p.m. The film is crazy and features music by iconic artists like David Bowie, Pink Floyd, and the Rolling Stones. See more at baystreet.org. On Thursday, February 5th, East Hampton School District families can sign their child up for kindergarten or pre-K at John M. Marshall Elementary School. From 4 to 6:30 p.m., parents can get help in both English and Spanish to register for school. Full details are on the school district website. First Light, a student art exhibition, takes over the Southampton Arts Center in celebration of young creative minds. The opening reception is Saturday, February 7th from noon to 5 p.m. Info is at southamptonartscenter.org. Also on Saturday, February 7th, the Festival of Fire and Ice returns to Sag Harbor. The Chamber of Commerce hosts Harbor Frost, featuring ice carvings, fire dancers, and more wintertime fun all afternoon. Fireworks by Grucci at sundown.
How do you spell champion? C-O-L-E. Southampton Intermediate School 8th grader Cole Collins has been crowned the winner of the school's annual spelling bee. The winning word was lacrosse, Lacrosse. 7th grader Joseph Santidios placed second in the spelling bee. They went head-to-head in multiple rounds before Cole's winning word. Cole will now go on to compete in the local round of the Scripps National Spelling Bee. Thank you for watching today's episode of East End News on LTV. We bring you hyper-local headlines through the power of public access television. I'm Christine Sampson, and I'll see you again next week.
LTV's programming is made possible by the New York State Council on the Arts, with the support of the Office of the Governor and the New York State Legislature.